Well, hello there, health coaches. I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Michelle Leotta. I'm a practicing health coach with 13 years in the industry. And you know what? I have never, like literally not once, ever used any sort of done for you content. I mean, it's been a lot of work over 13 years. What I'm referring to is the kind of content that you can buy pre-written, pre-made, and then use for your own coaching practice. I'm sure you've seen stuff like that out there. It's like emails, maybe social media posts, even whole programs. So I have never done it because when I started my business, there were no done for me content options available. Like it was not a thing. Definitely none of that existed. But I think it's really valuable. In addition to that, I think it's really valuable to write your own stuff, find your own voice, and represent who you are in your business, because you are your brand. You are your product. However, it's kind of like yesterday when I was talking to my kids about cell phones and why they don't really need a cell phone. They don't really need to be using, apps, because, back in my day, we didn't do that. I couldn't text people or send emojis. That's all they ever want to do is text emojis back and forth. Anyway, it's a different world now. I realize this. We have different tools available to us. And actually, at back to school night, my son's sixth grade teachers were talking about this. They were saying they are now encouraging the kids to ask Google questions, to find answers, to use spell check. And they even have these essay generators. Did you know this? Like you could say anything, the Civil War, and it will generate a really good essay about it. That's what the teachers were saying. I think it's crazy. But in our generation, in this generation, that's their norm. In our generation back in the day, it would have been considered cheating. But now this is what's available. So they said, we want to teach kids to be smart and use the tools that are available, not to replace their own thinking, but to advance it. And that's how they are approaching these things with the kids. So today we'll talk about whether or not you should buy and use content that's pre-made for you. And if you do, how to best go about it so you're advancing your practice and not just whatever, copying and pasting, the exact thing that the teachers don't want the kids to do. So if you're here live, please tell us in the chat if you've ever purchased done for you materials and what your experience has been. Joining me is Jamie Jones, copywriter and designer for health coaches and creator of the Health Coach Content Club, which, as we will talk about a little bit later, you can get a free 14-day trial at healthcoachpower.com/content. Hey, Jamie, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, Michelle, thanks so much for having me. I so appreciate it. And I'm just so happy to be here.
Real briefly, can you tell everyone how you found yourself writing and designing for health coaches and what you offer in the Content Club?
Yes. So I became really interested in holistic health after a roommate I had in college who taught me so much, and that kind of set the path for me for exploring that. And that led me to IIN. So I graduated from IIN in 2011. And after that, I saw some clients, started building a practice, and I was creating a program to run in my business when another coach asked me if she could buy it from me to use with her clients. And that was just a completely new idea. Like you were saying, this just wasn't a thing when we went through health coaching school. Totally wasn't on my mind. But that completely opened the door. And now I've been writing and creating for health coaches for 10 years. So the past 6 years, I've been putting all of my energy into running the Health Coach Content Club full time, which is a monthly membership of done for you content for coaches to use in their businesses. So think newsletters, social media posts, a recipe video, live stream scripts, a quarterly list building challenge, infographics, that kind of thing, a big package content delivery that you get every month as a member. So that's what I've been up to, and it keeps me pretty busy.
You've been doing it a long time. Now, I just want to pause and say there was something going on with my audio. Do I sound better now?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Okay, so sorry, everybody. I think my Zoom was doing something weird. Now that we've cleared up that tech issue, I was thinking about when we first spoke, Jamie, I was like, okay, I'm not really into this whole done for you thing. However, when it's really good quality, I have seen it work wonders for the coaches in our community. such as with Julia Sarver's Detox Done program. Like my
Mhm.
community absolutely loves that particular Done for You program. And I've realized that in recent years, I am using a lot of pre-written copy for my
Mhm.
emails in particular. Like
Mhm.
what I'll do is I just did this today. I go back a year, 2 years ago in my email service. I find something that I wrote already and it
Mhm.
becomes a template for
Mhm.
whatever I'm writing about today. So
Yep.
I have that sort of luxury of having this treasure trove of pre-written materials, whereas newer coaches obviously don't have that to draw from. And that made me think, okay, no, there's really, really value in what Jamie has to offer. So I checked it out, of course, you guys. I had to look at it, I had to read it. It is lovely. And you
Mhm.
give so much. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you, Jamie. Some of my listeners will know my first career, I was a graphic designer, right? So I
Mhm.
look at stuff and I'm very critical of it. I do a lot
Aw.
of stuff for myself for this reason, but I thought all of your work is really, really lovely. And
Mm.
anyway, thank you for providing such beautiful content.
Thank you so much. That's so nice.
I mean, there's a lot of garbage out there, you guys. So you really got to look closely at this stuff.
Mhm.
Jamie, I want to talk about this idea of taking something that's pre-written and using it as a template because it is so helpful to not be starting at a blank page.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that's exactly what I think of it as. I think of it as a springboard. So the content's already written, and now you just get to edit it with your voice and your personal stories. And those are the things that are connecting you with your audience anyway. So it's saving you so much time not having to come up with content ideas, to write the content, to design it, because that might not even be your strong suit. And I come across that so much with coaches and them just saying, it helps me so much to have this 95% of the way done for me. And then I can do the part that's easy for me, which is talking about myself and adding my personal touch. So, for example, you would take a piece of done for you content, you'd read through it and you'd start tweaking like any parts that immediately stick out. For example, I hear a lot from vegan coaches who feel that they can't use done for you content that's not geared towards vegans,
Mm.
but it's so easy to tweak content to meet your needs. So if a piece of content talks about meat, then you would change it to tofu. Or if it says milk, then you would change it to almond milk. So things like that is what I would do first. I would go through and tweak those things that stand out immediately. And then I would start adding my personal stories and make sure it just sounds like me. And that's really it. That's how you can make your done for you content really feel like your own, because I think it's really important to take ownership of it and feel confident in it. I think that's really important. And so that's also just the beauty of it is it doesn't have to be a springboard. I've come across this a lot as well. It's complete on its own. So if you're in a busy season of life and you need a quick solution, it's really great for that. And I've seen so many coaches use that as a strategy instead of putting their business on pause during a really busy season of life, which is so helpful.
I can see that.
Mhm.
Katie's saying here that she's never purchased any pre-done content. Hey, join the club. I mean, I was very like literally join join Jamie's club, but no, I absolutely was like, I don't really know what to expect. What is this going to be like? So I was surprised because you already kind of ran through the list, but you have email content, you have blog post content, you have video script content, you even have done for you challenges. It's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff.
Mhm. It is.
So anyway, there's all that obvious, like that's all just set to go. You could just use it as is.
Mhm.
But I know that you have ideas about then other ways to repurpose content. By the way, you guys, whether you buy it pre-made or you wrote your own content to begin with, this is important.
Mhm.
Repurposing your content in lots of other aspects of your marketing. So give us some of these ideas of how to get more mileage out of whatever content we have.
I would love to. I love this topic. And I think it's really important to think of it through the lens of like growing your audience and finding new clients, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in posting things on social media, but not really having a strategy beyond that. But we need clients to have a business. So it's really important to be expanding our audience. So these ideas are really good for that. So, for one, and I've seen coaches do all of these things and they all work so well. Number one is you can be a guest expert on someone else's whatever. So that could be like having your own column in someone else's newsletter, on someone else's social media, just being a guest expert to someone else's audience. So what you can do is you can reach out to offices in your area or anyone with a client base that is your ideal client and ask if they want a guest expert section of their newsletter or their social media or both. Or you can brainstorm something together, but there's so many options. And then you can provide them with content to add value to their business. And you can use your done for you content for this. And this could be a great start to a referral relationship as well. So it's really smart in many ways. So this could be doctor's offices, yoga studios, massage therapists, chiropractors, acupuncturists, the whole wellness arena. And I've also seen someone do this and have a column in their local newspaper, which was really cool. So they actually used the stuff in the content club, and that was their column in their local newspaper. And it was printed every Sunday, I think. And I thought that was so smart. So there's so many different places you could reach out to and also use the same content. So you could have a big network of this guest expert idea and still be using the same content. So it's really smart time wise.
Yeah, scalable, because you could be doing
Yes.
this a lot of places. And it reminds me, when I started my business, I had contacted Boston Organics. I don't even know if that company is still around, but it was like a delivery service for organic produce. And they had a newsletter. And it was like, hey, would you like me to contribute a recipe every month? And they were like, yes. Why would they say no to that?
Exactly.
So the recipes, for example, I know part of what you provide is a recipe, like a video to create a recipe. That's okay to do. We can share that recipe wherever we want.
Totally.
Hey, I like that. I also had a column writing for monster.com at one point, and it was like my first year of business, but it was the same thing. They wanted extra content on their site. I had something I was willing to send to them every month, and that was an amazing opportunity. So I love that.
Yeah, it takes work off of their plate. Why would they say no? It doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And along the same lines, the second idea is to kind of do the same thing, but in Facebook groups. So you could be like a resident group coach. So what you can do is you can start reaching out to Facebook group owners that would make sense for your target market and ask if you can do like a helpful live video each month for their members, or it could be weekly, bi-weekly, whatever y'all decide. And you can use your done for you content as your video content for the group. And that would get you in front of so many new people that are your ideal client already. And if the group owner agrees, you can also use that opportunity to grow your email list, which would be amazing. Like, for example, I'm in several mom groups on Facebook, and they have hundreds of thousands of moms in there. It's just such a large audience that you can get in front of regularly, and that can just be a really great opportunity. And same as we were saying, it's great for them too, because you're providing content for them. And that sets them apart from other groups on Facebook. Like, there are millions of mom groups, but there's one mom group where this guest expert comes in and I learn from every month. So I think it's a really smart move for both parties.
That is a really smart move. And by the way, Katie's saying these are amazing ideas. They are amazing ideas, regardless of where your content come from. If you're in a Facebook group, by the way, that they will allow you to do this, but they do not want you to have a link or, a freebie or anything where you're, adding to your mailing list. Do it anyway, because what will happen is people just naturally are going to be like, who is this person? And they'll click on your name, go to your profile, and then within your profile, you should have either as your cover image or within the text in your, your profile, your about me, who you are, and a link where they can join your email list. So don't shy away from the opportunity if it doesn't feel like they're giving you anything, because they'd still be giving you all this airtime with their audience.
Yes, that's huge. So yes, I totally agree. And along the same lines, again, there's many different ways we can do this. We can also use our done for you content to be a podcast guest, which can get you in front of so many people in the same way as the group. So you can use your done for you content as a podcast script, start reaching out to podcasts that would make sense for you to be on, and pitch yourself and go ahead and tell them what you'd like to talk about. You can have a couple of topics already picked out. That's really helpful for people to make a decision and get in front of so many new people with podcasts, and those live on and on and on. So it's just such a smart way to use your content and get a lot of mileage out of it.
I mean, there's probably two big things that keep coaches from being on podcasts. One is oh my gosh, who would want me on their podcast?
Mhm,
And the second is, what the heck would I talk about? So this
mhm,
covers the second one fully. And the first one, I will let you guys know that and we've talked about this so many times on the show, but any podcast that routinely has guests, like every week they need a guest, trust me, they need guests.
mhm,
Sometimes they have a guest and the guest cancels at the last minute. Sometimes, like things happen. It can be hard to keep their schedule full of guests. So if you come in and you're professional and you have a topic to share, don't count yourself out, even if you are a brand new coach. It does not matter. Sometimes they're going to still just think you're great and they're going to want you in the show. Sometimes they're just going to feel like, oh my gosh, I really need someone next week. Can you do next week? And you're going to be able to do it. So this does not need to hold you back. They are in a more precarious position than you are when
mhm,
they have to get that show out.
mhm.
So, wow, you're going to have just sort of endless things to talk about in that content just sitting there waiting for you every month. I love that, Jamie.
Yes, I agree. I think it's so smart and such a great way to use your time also. Like it takes so much time to create that stuff. I can tell you firsthand because I'm the one that does it. And just to not have to do that is incredible.
And
But
where do you come up with the ideas, by the way? So if we are like, gosh, I can't come up with an idea of what to write about, where do you generate all those ideas from?
so I went to IIN. So if you went to IIN as well, I know you did, but anyone who's listening, they know what the circle of life is, or I guess they still use that. It was a
I
long
think
time
so.
ago.
Yeah.
So I think through those topics and it just starts coming. And I've done it so long, it's just so easy. And I also just have so many topics. I have everything I've ever written about in a spreadsheet. So sometimes if I'm really having a hard time, I'll look through that and ideas just always come just looking at topics there. But I think it's just to keep everything also in that circle of life arena. I think it's really helpful to just think through those topics and what I would be struggling with if I needed to fix that topic and just go from there. I like to make things really action based and like listicle type things, like here are 5 ways that you can X, Y, and Z. So I can just usually pull things out of that.
Well, you're well practiced. And this is what we mean when we talk about working in your zone of genius.
Mhm.
So that's what Jamie's doing. And you, as a health coach, if creating content is not your zone of genius, but you are amazing when you're working with your clients, or you're amazing at putting together your online course or whatever it is, do that. And then don't spend the time as much digging through your brain. What am I going to write about? This is how we make the time to do the things that earn us money
Mhm.
and not waste all our time and get all frustrated with the stuff that just drags us down. Oh my gosh.
Yes, I totally
Did
agree. I don't think I said this in the beginning, but my bachelor's is in English. I have an English degree, so that helps me too. I think I was just trained to write. So
Sure does. Okay, so we can repurpose into Facebook presentations and podcasts. Were there others? Because I have a new idea that I don't think we've talked about before.
I do too.
Okay, tell us more.
Okay, so there's one more that we already talked about, and that was making a signature program. So you can create your own program or your own offering based on the done for you content that you've collected, especially if you've collected a lot of it. You can kind of see it all out in one place and see where it can piece together and create your own signature program or mini sessions. There's just so many different creative ways that you can make something new out of all of these elements. So you can think of just one done for you content piece as one module and just go from there. So you can create so many different things out of that. And the thing that I just thought of too is that reels are so popular right now.
That's what
And
I was thinking.
I knew it too. I knew you were going to say that. So you can talk if you want to, and if there's anything new, but it's true. And I was talking with another coach about this recently. There's we know that Facebook pages get no organic reach, but reels are getting so much organic reach on Instagram and TikTok or wherever else that you post them. And that is what we need, right? We get so frustrated that we have to pay to play and pay for ads to be seen, but reels make it easy. And that is what's working right now. And you could take one piece of content and make probably 20 reels out of it because you just want something quick and like one tidbit type thing. So that would be a really smart way to do what's working right now to really boost your audience.
Yeah, when you said listicles and like 5 ways to do that, it just reminded me, and those are such like basic reels and whatever, but where you're kind of pointing on the screen to the
Yep.
5 things. But
Mhm.
that's what it would just be plug and play for anything like that. That's what I was thinking. Okay, great. Because you're right.
I love
Reels
it.
right now, just because Instagram is hot on them right now, are getting a lot of extra reach
Mhm.
as opposed to just posting an image.
Yes.
Okay. So let's say that we sign up for the 14-day free trial. We're going to log in. We're going to get the materials. Do we download them? Do we open them up in Canva? And then from there, what happens? I'm just wondering if you can explain the logistics.
Yeah, so I've tried to make it as easy as possible. So I make it very step by step. So everything is in a members area. So you would download it there. That would be a Word document or photos. Everything comes in Canva. So you can edit anything you want. And you don't need a Canva Pro account to edit. So you don't have to, you could just use a free Canva account. And there's also, so some people get really overwhelmed. They're like, wow, this is great, but this is so much stuff. What do I do? So I've started providing an actual schedule that you can know exactly what to post every day if you want that kind of guidance. So some people don't like that, but it helps so many people when they're like, I don't even know what to do. I'm like, this is literally the picture you post that day and you schedule your newsletter for this day. So it's very laid out for you if you need that kind of guidance. So that's in there. Your Canva links are in there, all of your content. You get 4 newsletters, 4 live stream scripts. You get a recipe video, like a step-by-step recipe video. You get a quarterly list building challenge. So the one right now is about cravings. So that would be what you get if you log in now. And man, there's just so, and photos, infographics, that kind of thing, social media posts. And also on top of that, I do a monthly masterclass. So, and the whole library is in there. There's just tons of things that you can learn right away. And then a list builder library in there as well, which has 12 ebooks that you can use as your own as well. And there are all kind of topics in there. And there's just so much stuff you can dive into, really.
Yeah, there is. In fact, I just thought of another idea you guys can do with this content. Every month, you're going to get a new recipe script, right?
Mhm.
To do a little video thing. So, I mean, either in person or on Facebook or on Zoom, however you want to do it. I know when I started my coaching business, I held cooking classes.
Mhm.
So I hear coaches say, well, what recipes would I use for my cooking class? You could use these recipes. You could sell
Mhm.
people into like a 6-week cooking class. And if you're a member of the club for 6 months, then you got 6 recipes right there that are ready for
Mhm.
you. And instead of doing them for free, you would charge and have people join you in a Zoom room or join you in your own kitchen and cook. And people love to talk about food a little bit more than they love talking about their health problems. Like people like to eat and talk about chocolate and talk about what tastes good. And let me taste this and how does that work? And then, you kind of get to the health stuff. People will go, oh, but I can't eat that because I'm lactose free. Oh, really? Tell me more about that. So
Mhm.
it's a wonderful way in.
Mhm.
Jasmine is saying, is this content for our Facebook profile or groups? She joined us a little bit late. So Jasmine, I just want to say, and for anybody, this is content for your pretty much everything, your social, your emails, and even paid content that you could be offering to your
Mhm.
audience. Yes?
Yes.
Amazing. Katie's saying, I've purchased some done for you content in the past, and for the most part, it's been kind of but Jamie, your content is so beautiful. I love
Oh,
it.
thank you. That's so
It
nice.
I am particularly excited about the challenges. Have we talked about the challenges? I think I mentioned them, but
Mhm.
these you can use as list builders, right? Like a 5-day
Mhm.
challenge that you've put
Yes.
together.
Mhm.
You guys, it's a lot. It's a lot. I want you to at least check out the 14-day trial. You're going to
Mhm.
get 1 month's worth of downloadable content that you
Mhm.
can use however you like. Get all of Jamie's excellent writing. It's all waiting for you at healthcoachpower.com/content. It's like, why not? Just go grab
Really.
it, see what you can do with it. And I think you'll find that starting with something on the page saves you a ton of time and energy. I think you're going to love it. And like I said earlier, this is only one of 2 done for you products that I have ever shared with my community. And that is for a reason, because they're really solid quality.
Mhm.
Jamie, thanks for providing this resource. And thank you for being here today.
I appreciate it so much. I loved going over all of this with you. And if you need anything, I'm here.
Yes, where's the best place for anyone to reach you if they have questions?
So my website is jamiejonescreative.com, or you could email me at jamie@jamiejonescreative.com.
Great. And that's JAMIE.
Yes, always misspelled. Yes. My
Very
birth
good.
announcement was misspelled. I always tell people that.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad I brought it up.
Yes.
All right, everyone. Have a great day and thanks again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.